Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. Espinal, also joining me through, well, Riverside now. It is my co-host, partner in crime, the tank top sage, Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, everybody listening? What up, Chris?
Hey. Also joining us, it is our producer, Edgelord Big News Brian.
なんというビッグニュース
What's up, nerds?
Hey, we're back, baby. Second video pod in a row. Very excited to get into it. We got a lot of manga to talk about this week, including a new one. New guy in the lineup. Yeah, you know what it is, Josh. We talked. We'll hold the suspense, but we'll talk about it later. Hey, we're excited for this show.
Yes, we are.
Let's get into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram. I was talking about World Trigger earlier, and you can also find me at New Jump City Josh. That's on X.
Oh yeah, Brian.
And also TikTok. And I was talking about World Trigger. I don't know what y'all talking about.
You can find me at p.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you want to catch me when I am streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itispunchline.
Oh yeah. You can follow the show itself. What?
I don't even play Valorant that much anymore.
Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, Marvel Rivals, I might do
And
that.
Bolero.
Bolero.
I'm an Iron Fist. I'm an Iron Fist Iron Man main.
Jeez.
That's my combo. Did you guys know that there's a new Iron Fist?
Yes.
Pretty crazy.
Did you know that it was a seal?
What?
A seal?
Like the animal?
Mammal? Yeah.
No, that's not what it is.
No, I'm mistaken.
Yes, you're mistaken.
I'll do my research again.
Yeah. Well, you can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok as well. You could email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And we'll talk about it in the pre-show chat show that we do every week. We will answer questions, all that stuff. So hit us up on that. You could also subscribe, please. Subscribe to the pod on YouTube. We're back, baby. Full force. Subscribe to us on there. Give us a like, a share if you like the podcast. That would be super amazing. And if you prefer audio podcasts anyway, we're also wherever you listen to podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Castbox, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music we're on Pandora. We're everywhere you listen to podcasts.
That's true.
And with that being said, that's it for the plug portion. Let's get into the show. Sakamoto Days. This is Sakamoto Days chapter 194. Tachisaikia? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's what this chapter is called. Last we left off,
You did the Japanese wrong.
I don't think that's Japanese.
You Japanese wrong.
What? What did I do wrong?
You did not Japanese properly.
Tachisaikia is not a Japanese word.
It could be Taki Saikia.
Is that how it's pronounced?
No, I'm just saying that's how
It could be Takisaikia.
Yeah.
Could you look that up and see how it's pronounced?
I'm on it.
It's very biased.
It's not biased. It's just correct. Last we left off with Sakamoto Days. Shin has been on his heels fighting against Tenkyu, who has just taken off his eye patch and revealed that he's basically got a Byakugan down there. And his vision in that one eye is so good that he can snipe this Shin from like miles away, it feels. But the side effect is that his vision is so good that it makes him actually woozy, and it kind of affects with
It is tachypsychia.
tachypsychia.
Yeah,
Thank you, Brian.
I was correct.
Correct.
I was correct in my assumption.
So yeah, Tenkyu is shooting some arrows at our guy Shin. Shin is just barely dodging all this stuff. Tenkyu's on his shit, just knocking him around with the arrow, with the bow and arrow. It's everything he's doing. And then we get a little bit of he uses his ESP to force himself to move again, and he realized like, whoa, it works more than once. And we get a little bit of an interjection from narrator Sama, who's like Shin's ability to overwrite people's thoughts works by sending electrical signals to the basal ganglia of the brain, hijacking the target's mind and body for 1 split second. But due to the body's inherent defenses, it only works once on another person. However, the body emits the current itself. No resistance is triggered. Thus, Shin's power can work an unlimited amount of time when applied to himself, which is pretty sick.
Therefore, Gon and Killua will have to progress.
Wait, what?
Do insurmountable. I don't know, because there was this long narration, so I thought I should add flavor to that.
Yeah.
You know?
Kurapika is now drowning in an indescribable emptiness.
Kurapika is now drowning in an indescribable emptiness.
That's who did the narration just now.
Yeah.
In this. Hijacking the target's mind and body for 1 split second.
You know, in Hunter x Hunter, he would actually break down
Gon will
the
have
fraction.
to focus his energy and sharpen his resolve in order to help Shin defeat Tenkyu. I don't know the song.
That is actually perfect, Kaden.
I wish I knew Japanese. I wish I knew that shit. I would sing it right now.
Although it was a split second in Shin's time, it felt like 3 hours. Although it was
Yes.
1,470,000,000 thousandth of a second.
Yeah, bad extra detail. What the fuck is wrong with him? How does he write like that? I love Takashi. Don't get me wrong, but he's like, he's on the spectrum, man. In the best way.
He's gotta be.
For sure. For sure.
Back to Sakamoto Days. Shin is able to close the distance between him and Tenkyu, and he punches Tenkyu in the face, sending him flying, and actually knocks a tooth out. But then Tenkyu does a super cool thing, grabs his tooth, and then shoots it with his bow right at Shin.
Here's a gift.
Yeah. Here's a gift for you. Shin surprisingly kind of gets over that really fast. I think it would have, if it was me, I would have been like, did you just shoot me with your tooth? You fucking asshole. What the hell? You psycho?
Yeah. The disrespect is insane.
Yeah. So Shin is just thinking to himself like, damn, only keeping up with Tenkyu isn't enough. I still can't, even if I push my body to its extreme physical limits, I still can't move faster than him. And then he thinks to himself, wait, instead of moving my body, what if I command my mind to function at max power? And at that point,
enhance his mind to work at process peak speed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, that's when Tenkyu draws back another arrow, and he's like, can my brain handle it? I have to try to process at peak speed. And then he manages to do it. We get a big 2-page spread of the arrow moving in super duper slow motion. But the arrow is actually moving so fast that like he can see the distortion of space as this thing is moving past it. And Shin just grabs it and he says, I win. And then he slashes Tenkyu with it. I think he cuts off one of his fingers.
He cuts off 2 of his fingers.
Damn. He does cut off
He
two.
said, "I win."
Yeah.
He doesn't even say "nah." He just says, "I win."
Yeah, he scars the eye that I guess gives him extra abilities, and then he is about to stab Tenkyu, but he stops, and a single tear falls on Tenkyu, and Tenkyu looks up to see Shin is crying, and he's like, "Are you that sad?" "No, that's not it. You're too scared to kill. Am I right?" He's like, "No, even now, somewhere deep down, he thought he would be able to kill, but he might just be the type that hesitates to kill." And he says, but I'm not. Right now, I feel nothing holding me back from killing you. I'm the kind of person who shouldn't be there. That much is obvious." Obviously, he means, I guess, Sakamoto, the Sakamoto store. And Tenkyu immediately tries to kick him in the face, but Shin blocks it and goes in for the kill. And that's when Sakamoto himself shows up and holds Shin's arm back. And that's where the chapter ends. Sakamoto has stopped Shin from killing Tenkyu. And yeah. Josh, what did you think about Sakamoto Days chapter 194?
I'm gonna tell you exactly what I thought. There's a song by Busy Bone and Bone Thugs and Harmony called "Thugs Cry." We seen a thug cry in this manga episode, in this manga chapter. That was Shin. He leveled up. He unlocked a new move. He unlocked several new moves in the trump card. And right before he crossed over the edge, this guy was here to save him. We knew Sakamoto was coming, right? Everyone called that, right?
Yeah, I figured. I think I called
I feel
that.
like Brian didn't.
I think I definitely said something
I want to
like that.
give Brian the chance to say that I'm wrong, and I won't fight it. But I feel like you didn't.
No, I said
call
that if Sakamoto shows up, it would be kind of whack.
Is that what you said, Brian?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Definitely wasn't. He's not gonna show up. It was like a.
No, I
if
didn't
he
say that he
does,
wouldn't show up.
then
I
this.
said that if he does show up, it would be kind of whack.
Right. Oh, I see. Well, he's here.
Yep, and
He's here, Brian.
No, Brian,
Wow,
what's your turn?
That was actually pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I like that.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the actual thing.
How good at that? Like that sound effect.
Yeah, I'm impressed by the
That
actual
wasn't a
sound.
drop? That was you, Brian?
yeah, that was me.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Can I do that?
You could try. Go ahead.
It sounds good, I think.
Oh no, not even close.
Not as good.
I'm sorry. Brian was just. I'm not even going to try and embarrass myself like that. I can never. Well, anyway, yeah. I mean, Tenkyu lost, and I didn't think he was going to lose. I really thought Shin was going to lose in this situation. There was a panel when he was like, "Nah, I can't beat him. Like, even if I push my own physical body to like the limits, it's still not enough to beat him because he's far past my physical limits." And the crazy thing is, someone said that to him before. Who was it? I think at the beginning. Before they even went to prison, he was fighting with somebody, and he was just like, "You're at your physical limit. Like, you can't really improve." I forgot who told him that. But he was just like, "Yeah, you got to find different ways to, like, get stronger." But,
Yeah, I
like,
forget
as
who
far
said
as you
that.
getting physically stronger, like, that's about it. You're at peak physical form. So, you know.
Yeah, it was that guy. I forget his name, but he's like the cool, nonchalant guy. I forget his name.
Yeah,
It's not Nagumo.
Nagumo.
Yeah, Nagumo, yeah, the one that can shapeshift and all that.
Yeah, him. He's the one who says that to him.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
never a big deal. He's one of those. Yeah. No big
Or
deal.
no, are you sure it wasn't fucking Speed Boots?
Speed Boots.
Yeah, it was the it was Sakamoto's trainer from
Oh, yeah. What's his face?
or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it was Speed Boots.
We thought he was dead. Yeah, he's really fast or whatever. Yeah, he was. That's what he said that to Shen. You're right. So it makes a lot of sense that was the way he upgraded, by like thinking outside of the box using his abilities. Cool. I'm satisfied. Maybe he can do even more with that. Maybe he could use Gyo on his eyes to see further too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he technically used Gyo for the first time, you know?
Yeah, it usually takes people a few years to get the basic principles down.
Shit's just nice with it, I guess. Naturally gifted.
Maybe when Tenku shot him, it was actually a Nen ability, and it primed his body to be ready for Nen.
Mm.
We miss Hunter x Hunter.
We do miss Hunter.
I sure do. That's why I'm going to reference it in every single series. Really Brian, what are your thoughts?
Disappointed. I don't know. I just don't like this Shen arc. I like the solution, but I don't like the execution. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It just feels like so generic. It's just like, oh, here we go, Edge Boy feeling real edge, and oh, here comes Sensei to stop him. I just hope it doesn't end up becoming like a betrayal arc thing where Shin gets all fucking sad boy and runs away, and then we got to deal with that annoying shit for a while. It's just like, come on, man.
Could be interesting.
And Hisuke is all but immediately gone in this arc. That it's over for him now. There's nothing else we'll get for him. So
I
literally,
have a rebuttal to that, actually, if you don't mind.
Okay, go on.
I think that in a few chapters, what's gonna happen is that when Shin's trying to like get out the jail, what Hisuke's gonna do is separate his body into different pieces, and then realize that he can fly and levitate with it. And then he's gonna pick up Shin, and they're gonna fly out of.
Oh, you're doing Buggy from Impel Down. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, so that Brian would like it.
You think you're funny, huh?
I said Megalyn last week. I wanted to say him again really bad, but
that was a good one. Bringing in Buggy.
I don't remember a lot else from him.
Dude, like, come on, what was
Wax guy was important.
Okay, no, you tell me. You tell me. What's the point of Hisuke being here?
Well,
to tell Shin.
Tell me. Just tell me.
He shouldn't murder people.
I would argue.
And look at what that did. Nothing. It amounted to nothing.
Hey,
he could have just not been in this arc
in life.
He could have not
successful
been
in every single thing you do.
He could have not been in this arc, and what would have changed? Zero things. Well, zero things. Am I wrong?
I don't think that's true. I
change the setting of the arc. Does it change a single thing? It does not.
I think it's not over yet. I think you gotta I feel you, Brian, but I think you gotta hold on and have a little bit of faith.
I do.
Listen,
but
if the series doesn't have Sakamoto around, what's the point? I wanted to accept that. Chris doesn't have to accept that. You don't really have to accept that, Brian. But I believe that when you do accept that into your life, that Sakamoto is going to be a part of the best moments in the series. You don't mind when he's always around. It's okay if he came through to help Shin because it's about to be lit after this. You're gonna get everything you want, Brian.
It's fine. Like I just
everything and more.
This arc is very disappointing.
He's gonna be sniping people with fucking plywood or something like that.
They went in here to train, right? They were like, "Oh, let me go get this. Let me go find this psychic lady. She's gonna teach me how to be more psychic." They come in here. She barely does anything.
Okay. I think
except for lose her psychic abilities. Shin literally only has one interaction with her, and then after that, he literally just evolves by himself. Like, what was the point of even coming here?
I think
really, what was the fucking point?
Hold on. I still think you're being a little unfair.
I'm being unfair? The whole purpose was to come here and learn from the psychic lady how to become more psychic.
No. The idea was to come in and break out this fortune teller so that they can train. They're not out yet, Brian. How is he going to train in the prison?
Okay, so no. All right, so the guy Speed Shoes is like, nah, bro, you can't get better without this psychic lady. You got to go get her. He gets better without her, by the
Well,
way.
that's not exactly what he said. He said that's you can try. He's like, that's another person. He wasn't saying that it was guaranteed or not like that.
And you know,
you could have a point. Just don't argue in bad faith.
just cause, and let's just say Atari's luck is out. I don't believe that's necessarily true. But let's say that she loses her fortune, doesn't mean that she can't train Shin in his ESP.
I don't think she needs to, personally, I don't think she needs to train him for me to be satisfied per se. I think it'd be I where I sympathize with Brian the most is that I am waiting to see something more from Hisuke. I just arc is not over yet. It's not
I would also
on the third floor right now. Who knows who they're gonna run into? We might even get some other 3 people fights. You know what I'm saying? Tenku might end up being a good guy, and maybe he'll help out fucking teaching Hisuke. There's a lot of possibilities still. That's why I'm not really stressing it one way or another.
Yeah, I would also say that this is in Heisuke's arc anyway. Like, Heisuke he just had a
it's
thing.
Nice that he was there.
He's there as a support character and as someone to have dialogue with Shin, like on a what's the word I'm looking for? On a pragmatic level, I guess, and narratively, it's there so like Shin doesn't have to be talking to himself all the time. That he would have a compatriot to go down with and bounce ideas off of and bounce like have kind of like an angel on the shoulder regarding the killing thing. Heisuke didn't go down there to train. Heisuke went to help Shin. He didn't go. He didn't go down to get stronger. He went there to back up Shin in case he needed something. And you could argue whether how useful he is. I think that's kind of irrelevant because he's there kind of just as a support character.
I feel like what you're saying is that it wasn't guaranteed. Like Heathgate's like improvement wasn't guaranteed or development.
No, I've never thought.
Not saying that there would be no real not that there would be none, but like saying that's not.
Yeah,
that shouldn't have been the expectation.
I wasn't expecting Heisuke to go down there and train because they went there specifically to find the fortune teller for Shin.
I was looking forward to Heisuke learning something new though.
I think Heisuke has had a lot of development already, and like when he was fighting the sniper, I feel like that was the start of his development. And like he can't develop all the time. There's other characters.
Yeah,
he would have been better. All right, I would agree with you that Hisuke is there just to be like a supportive character, but since when does Shin need somebody to tag along with him
all the time
from the main cast? Dude, he had an entire arc where he was split off from everybody.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that has to be like the only thing that ever happens to Shin. There's definitely things
exactly. But if you're gonna have an arc set up around the fact that these two need to get better, and then have one just completely sidelined, essentially.
But that wasn't his arc.
Borderline useless in this arc.
That's not his arc. He's not there yet.
Just because it's not his arc doesn't mean he could like be literally just fucking.
He's a gun guy.
Aside.
They're in a prison.
So give him another way to fight. Show him give him something new then.
Nah, he's a sniper.
Show him. Yeah, okay. So what's the point
I don't
of
know what
bringing
you
him
want.
here?
I don't know what you
What's
want
the point? What's the point? What was the point of bringing him? Oh, hey, man. Let's go to prison where you're fucking completely useless and not going to be any use to me. Let's bring you with me just for fun.
He hasn't been completely useless. Josh, you're muted, I think.
Josh muted.
Oh, sorry. You're wilding, Brian. All right.
No,
he has not been completely useless. I do understand what you're saying. What I'm telling you is
okay, what did he do?
No,
then?
I'm not telling you, I'm suggesting.
What has he done in this arc?
The series is worth tempering your expectations. Just have a little bit of patience.
Okay, but tell me what Hisuke has done in this arc.
Man, he shot a few people, bro. He shot Tenku.
Look,
he shot Tenku, and look at what Tenku did.
You're downplaying the.
He shot Tenku, and then
element.
Tenku fucking caught his bullet with a fucking smoke
That's
string.
not his villain.
That was lit. Well, I mean, what you
I
want?
don't care if it's not his villain. That's not the point. That's not the
Is
point.
Hisuke your favorite character?
Yes, he is.
So admittedly, you're emotionally invested in this.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I like the series. I like the series.
Therefore, it's reasonable, right, to say that you're disappointed when one of your character you really like is featured in an arc, but there's no prime development for them.
It's not even,
disappointing.
dude. Like, there's just ways to have a character be a support character and not be the focus, and still have like ways to properly utilize them. Hisuke has not been properly utilized in this arc. You can't. I'm not gonna change my mind on that. There's zero ways that he has been properly utilized.
I would rather you say yet instead of like the way you're saying it. I want you to just at the very least.
Okay, fine, but that still doesn't change the fact that
makes
so
the world
far,
of difference. You know what I'm saying?
It's been a very disappointing arc. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Because it's like the setting underutilized. Hisuke underutilized. Shin overutilized to some extent.
It's his arc.
Just because it's his arc doesn't mean that he's going. There. You're so fucking corny for that. Just because it's his arc doesn't mean it excuses him being a fucking whiny little pussy ass bitch the whole time. Like,
he is not being whiny, man. He's trying to be like he's trying to keep his friends straight and safe. Also, I'm not mad at Hisuke for that. I think that's
I'm not saying that Hisuke is whiny. I'm saying that Shin is whiny.
Because that's Shin, bro. I mean,
Shin hasn't always been whiny.
Shin has been a little bit whiny.
He has his whiny moments. He can be a little thinking too hard. That's what makes him relatable, though, that he thinks a little too hard about shit.
Yeah, he's an overthinker. I understand.
He's an ESP character, so it's kind of like, look. I want to really try to meet you more on your level and put it like, I don't know, like, this arc, even if nothing develops for Hisuke as far as his abilities go, maybe he can learn something really interesting that gets the ball rolling on an even more interesting Hisuke development arc. You know what I mean? That's part of my whole reason about staying patient too, because I don't want you to just get to the end of the arc and be like, oh God, they wasted Hisuke. That's it. And it's like you're entitled to believe that, but I just feel like because the series is enjoyable and it has like met your expectations in other places, allow it that. And then when it gets towards the end of the series, then you could catch a whole attitude, and I'm gonna be right there with you, my nigga.
I don't know, man. Just when it comes to this arc, when we're following this arc, I don't think there's a lot that can be done to save Hisuke for this arc for me. That's just what I'm saying. Like, that's because the arc is already gotten pretty. It feels like it's pretty deep into the arc, and there's already been a lot of missed opportunity. Like, what else is there left to do for the character in this arc? Like, I don't know. It feels really like a filler arc a little bit. Like, that's just what it feels like. It's disappointing. It's a disappointing arc. The action was cool.
Shots out.
The action was cool, but the arc just was not. This I'm very disappointed. I was so excited coming into it, but it just feels missed, super missed.
You know, I gotta admit, Chris, where Brian definitely has a point is that in this rant alone, he's taken more shots than Hisuke has in this arc. That's
true.
Sure.
So true.
That's true. I mean, that's accurate.
That's
accurate.
To be honest.
Hisuke, like, come on, man. Like, most of these dunners be like,
somewhat
hey,
of
come
an
on,
issue
man.
there, right? So, something's got to give. I need Hisuke to bust off more shots. I could get behind that at least.
Like, I get it's not his arc, but like I said, that doesn't stop you from utilizing the character. That doesn't stop you from utilizing the character as the character is intended to be utilized.
What if he found like a slingshot or some shit like that?
That would have been so fire. Tell me how fire that would have been if he got into the arc. He already has a pistol. He doesn't need a slingshot. Before when he first showed up, imagine if Hisuke had a slingshot to start the arc. Tell me how cool that would have been. And he went away doing some fucking cool ass sniper slingshot shit. And that's how he learns to use more close quarter like moves. Even though it's not his arc, you could give him a small little thing to play with that's not that big of a deal, so that he could do at least 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 cool things in this arc. Like, come on. It's the Shin show. It's only Shin, and that's the problem. That is the fucking problem. And not even just the fact that it's just the Shin show. The first like 4 chapters of this prison arc, so fire because it felt like a prison. And then you keep going, and then it's literally just nothing to do with prison anymore. I don't know. I've rambled on this point almost every chapter since we ran into Tenkyu, and I feel crazy that I'm the only one who sees this, and I'm just like, what is going on? This is not Sakamoto. This is just not the series.
I don't think it's not hasn't been my favorite arc so far. I'm just not as offended by it as you, because I think even if this is as much as of reach from its form, it'll return back to it anyway.
Yeah, I know it'll return back to it. It's just this is the missed arc in the whole series, in my opinion. I feel like this is the one arc that's gonna blemish the series, in my opinion, because it doesn't hold up with the rest of the series in terms of consistency. This is the most inconsistent arc in the series so far, in my opinion. Just because it doesn't follow the same set of rules that the others have established for itself. Like when you have a close quarters, tight knit area, the series respects that. You know what I mean? With the airplane, inside of trains, inside of cars, inside of buildings, it always respected the space, right? But in this arc, the space is not respected. The setting is not respected. Characters are not respected. And it's like kind of tossed aside for sake of like just getting to the point, it feels like. So that's just my problem with this arc so far. I'd be happy to be proved wrong in the next few chapters or whenever this arc gets wrapped up. But I doubt that I will be proved wrong, in my opinion, because it doesn't feel like it's going to prove me wrong. The setting isn't going to be fixed all of a sudden in the next 2 chapters. Because like, what's the point of this super high security facility if literally anybody can just walk in there? Like, what was the point of these guys even getting arrested in the first place if Sakamoto's just gonna waltz in here? You know,
Yeah,
like, what's the fucking point?
It might be a lot easier to get in than to get out. But
well, we don't know how Sakamoto got in there, so
it looks. I doubt he got arrested.
I mean, they were all wanted. They were all wanted by the JA.
I don't know, man.
That's how Shin and Heisuke got in. They turned themselves in.
Yeah, they turned themselves in, and then
Sakamoto probably also turned himself in.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying this arc is doo-doo compared to the rest of the ones, rest of these arcs.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm crazy. I don't feel any. I feel like this is fine. This is a fine arc, you know. I didn't have any expectations of Heisuke going down there and getting better because Heisuke already had a multi-chapter battle and development period dedicated to him not too long ago. You know, he's on his way, and you know this is obviously not going to be the end for his character. Once they get out of here, there's plenty of opportunities for Heisuke to get more focus and more shine. You know how many cool things I need Heisuke to do by the end of this arc? 0. I don't need him to do anything cool.
Which is corny.
Which is fine because not every.
What's the point of bringing him?
Because
give somebody else a fucking chance then. If he's not, if he
that's
doesn't
what Shin's still trying to do. What you could debate whether the Shin stuff is working for you or not, but the attempt is to give focus to Shin and give him the ability to like not only develop his ability but his character.
I just don't agree with that because it's like every other arc Whenever there's a side character, the side character gets to do something.
Yeah, but this is like not a full arc, I imagine. This is a training arc, and this is like kind of
It's a filler arc.
no, it's
And
not.
it's a bad filler arc.
And this is the thing is we don't get arcs like this anymore, where it's not particularly like super plot heavy. It's more, you know, characters slowly developing, and you know you get to see their progress in one way or another. With Shin, it's in through battle, an actual battle to the death. But sometimes with these, there's not a lot of training arcs anymore, so we don't get these like kind of slower paced or, you know, like differently paced series arcs where characters are just, there's no specific story goal outside of the development of a character in a both physical sense and maybe even an emotional one. Now, I can agree on one thing, is that I'm not crazy about how they're handling Shin. I feel like they could have taken a little longer to have Shin fall into this mindset. It feels like it came out of nowhere, being that Shin has been at Sakamoto's store the longest. So he should be beyond this kind of doubtful stage already. This should have happened a little earlier if it was going to happen. It feels out of place right now just because it's nearly 200 chapters in the story, and he's basically the secondary protagonist. So it's a little awkward that they're just suddenly driving this emotional wedge into him. So, and I feel like they could have been bought if, and I agree with this is where like the setting comes in, where you take your time going down into the prison and you meet worse and worse people, and Shin starts to think to himself, man, I can't see myself like letting these people live. These people are really dangerous. What if they come home and they kill like the wife? That's what I'm saying. But I don't think that this arc is bad. It could have been way worse.
You would say it missed opportunities.
I'm saying
a lot of opportunities.
That remains to be seen.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with Heisuke.
I think it's going to be uphill getting out of the jail. I think they're going to go through a lot of.
Yeah, I feel like getting out of the jail is worse than getting in and staying in and fighting in the jail, because the jail, nobody cares if you fight in it. Once you get to a certain level, it's kind of a no man's land, just like in Impel Down, where the further you go down, like everything's so shitty that sure, they let you out. They let you walk around the ice.
We haven't explored the third level yet. They just fell down there, but we haven't got a chance to really check it out. And it may be, I mean, hopefully not where they get up out of there quickly, but
yeah,
you know, I think there's still a chance for a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not over yet, and I don't. Not that I don't need Heisuke to do anything particularly, because I don't think this is his arc to do so. I think Heisuke is there to be a dissenting opinion for Shin. That's what his character there is pragmatically to try and remind him of where he's coming from, to help Shin. You know, you could debate whether he's been effective of that. It doesn't really matter whether he's been effective of that. That's why he's there. You know? It's and I have my grievances with this arc. It's not, but I don't feel like they're particularly bad. You know, I'm not like, I don't think this is a bad arc at all. It's like sloppily handled to some degree, but I also don't put Sakamoto Days on the same level as like something like Hunter x Hunter or even One Piece. Where
neither do I, but I do hold it to the standard that it has presented itself as.
Yeah, but every arc has been quick so far. Like, what was the longest arc? The fucking exam?
No, I think more from like a taking advantage of the surroundings, like how you.
Yeah, like just like I said, I'm not holding it to the standard of One Piece or like Hunter x Hunter. I'm holding it to the standard of the series itself. That's where I'm holding it.
Yeah, but you know, I feel like,
and this is not delivering.
It's not
nothing that happens from this point forward will change my mind about how this point and before has been handled.
Well, I'm just saying my piece. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just thinking it's not like, I don't know. I don't think it was that egregious. I feel like I've been enjoying this fine enough. It could be better, sure, but you know, it's one arc. Sometimes you can't win them all. Every series has like an arc that's like not as crazy.
True.
So I'm not like losing my mind over it. You know, I know. But
I just didn't think this would happen in Sakamoto.
No series is safe. You know, nobody's perfect except for Oda, and You know?
But even Oda has misses.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
you know, it's like
how-
nobody's perfect, and you know, every arc has its own function in the story, and I feel like Sakamoto's this arc is fulfilling its function just good enough that I'm not like annoyed by it. I never felt any kind of annoyed by it overtly. I see the little flaws in it, but I'm like, you know, it is what it is. It's not like egregiously bad. I'm not offended by how this arc has been handled, but could be better, sure. I don't need Heisuke to do anything.
I hold it to higher standards. I'm not letting you off the hook until you show me something, Sakamoto Days.
I don't know. I trust Sakamoto Days. I mean, you know, you gotta give Sirius some slack. People are human, you know. No, it's like,
Nah, I'm not gonna give it slack because
so
I
you-
wouldn't want slack.
nah. I guess that was the wrong phrasing, but you know, I'm just saying it for like, I guess the utility of this arc, and you know, it's fulfilling it well enough. And there's still a lot of arc to go. They still have to leave. I don't think the JA is just gonna let him out of prison. So
Imagine they do. They're just like, hey, enter this portal made by the assassin, the portal assassin, and then we'll get out of here.
yeah, then it'll be a 10 out of 10 series. I'm gonna be into that. But all right, that's all I gotta say about Sakamoto Days. This is a long one, but are you guys ready to move on to the next
Jump
one?
City epic debate.
Epic debate.
Patented.
All right, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to move on.
Kagurabachi.
All right.
With that, I'm gonna toss this one over to Brian.
All right. So the chapter picks up with Chihiro and his ninja squad are at a cafe eating, and they are spoon feeding him food and wiping his face and then pouring him some water. And Chihiro's like, you guys are like a little too overprotective. And they're basically saying that this is just how they operate, so they just take care of him. And Chihiro asks again about Uruha, and they're like, "Oh, nah, we don't got anything yet. But we understand like forensics fucking hard on for Uruha because he was a enchanted sword wielder. So
He's alive.
what can I say? When I'm right, I'm
He's
right.
alive.
He's alive.
He's alive.
Well, you know what? I was
They
also
only
right. I
had to
didn't
show it 2 times in a row.
Yeah, this time if they bring it up a second time, they just don't want us to forget that his status is in question.
What can I say? When I'm right, I'm right.
It wasn't just you, Brian. I also half called it.
Yeah, I was the only one saying that it probably wasn't gonna happen, but I'm wrong. I'm flipping my answer for sure.
So chapter continues and they're like, let's take stock of the situation. Right now, the Kamunabi and Hishaku and Samura are in a 3-way deadlock. So leadership sent them to take a preemptive action and kind of get some info on some shit. Sawamura is just out here doing shit with his fucking owl eye thing. And if he draws Enten, Samura might try to fucking kill him. So that means Chihiro essentially can't use Enten in this arc, I presume.
Not for a while, at
Until he's
least.
ready to fight.
And since he can't use Enten, they have assigned the best Samura counterforce with the ninjas to him, so that they can. This is like their only way to actually fight Samura. For a reminder, the reason why they're so good against Samura is because they're ninjas and they can erase their entire presence. So Samura can't really sense them.
Which sucks because he's blind.
Yeah.
So it'd be harder for
blind
people
as
with
hell.
eyes. It's hard with eyes. Damn near impossible without eyes. It'd be
So
like that.
since he can't take out, since Chihiro can't use his enchanted sword, he asks if there's a plan. And there is a plan. They have Samura's daughter hostage. Which nobody knew. Like Chihiro didn't even know that she had a daughter. They basically faked her death and made it so that she forgot everything, essentially.
No, they have a
Forgot
spell
about
that,
Samura.
yeah, and they made it impossible for other people to recognize her as Samura's daughter.
Yeah, but even she can't recognize
Yeah.
herself as Samura's daughter. So she basically forgot. Basically forgot everything. So they're essentially
Damn.
using her as a hostage against Samura so that he doesn't, act out of character. So there's no way for them to track her down, but I guess they're gonna try to do that. And they do know where she is, which is Kyoto, which is like we get this big page of like a Kyoto tower with the Samura eye watching over it. And it looks like we're not the only ones going for his daughter, because there are some Hishaku guys in Kyoto as well.
I'm not going after anyone's daughter, by the way. Not no one's high school daughter. That is, just to make that clear.
Yeah.
When Brian said "we're," I don't know who.
Not
It's
us.
Not, that's not including
Narratively,
Josh,
let's say.
right?
So there's this guy at a mart. He's like looking to buy some shit. I don't know what it is. And his name is
Sliced objects.
Kuguri. She's just like, don't walk around carrying the enchanted blade. Oh, does he have
Oh, he got that thing on him, man.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he has
He's,
that.
he's
He has
holding
that.
it. He's got it out there. It's crazy.
He's not even like linked to it yet, so oh, Hirohiko is linked to it, right?
Yeah. Well, Hirohiko is linked to Uruha's sword.
Yeah, which is the one that this guy's carrying.
That's a different sword altogether.
It had to
I
be.
believe. That's
Because
one
why
of
would
the
he have
other
a sword he's
swords
not
in
linked
the
to?
He's not linked to it though. He
Oh, yeah.
plans to be linked to it.
Well,
once
it
they
says
kill
don't go,
that.
don't. This lady says don't walk around carrying the enchanted blade. You can't even use it yet. And he says, thanks to Hirohiko, this is going to be a hassle. So, and Hirohiko's in rehab, so he can't use the enchanted blade. So I'm guessing that that's the one that he's holding on to right now, is my guess. But
I don't know, man. Like, why would he be holding on to Hirohiko's blade?
He is, and I think he's walking around with one of the other.
Yeah, that's what I'm
blades.
thinking. Is the other one? It's like a different one.
Because they say he's gonna use it soon, and the plan is for Hirohiko to use that sword, and they ultimately want to use all the other swords, right? So I think that's what leads me to believe he's holding I think he's holding the sushi guy's sword.
Yeah, maybe.
Personally,
I mean, he is looking
Especially
at a
since-
bunch of fish.
Yes, like slice things, and he said, "I want to slice something too."
Foreshadowing.
So, yeah, that's what I think. I'm paying attention to narrative details.
and then it's revealed that
Thank you.
and then it's
For giving
revealed
me
that
critical
Kuguri
thinking.
and his friend here are going after Samura's daughter as well. And they also don't know where the hell she is. So it's a bit of a gamble here. So now it's kind of like a race for the first people to find Samura's daughter kind of win the deadlock against him. And the chapter ends with Samura's daughter being in high school, practicing in like doing a test, it seems, as the Samura Eye kind of watches over her. Presumably, he doesn't know she's there.
Yeah, because those eyes are everywhere.
Yeah, because he can't recognize her. Nobody can recognize her, and that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what are your thoughts?
So one thing I really appreciate about the recent chapters is that they are committing hard to Samura's ability literally being out there. Now, I don't think this is something regular people could see. Maybe you had to be able to use whatever the name of the power system this shit is. Like maybe you had to be a sorcerer.
Sorcerer.
Yeah, you got to be able to use that energy shit. Yeah, or whatever. So
Yeah, I would imagine so.
but they
Given that people are not
right
freaking out at the
because
giant owl.
it's right because I would imagine it's like, is this what we living with every day now? Like, what's going on? Is the government going to do something about this? Are we going to do something about this? Is this normal? So just I don't think this is it's people can see it, but you have to be tapped in. But imagine people that had nothing to do with the situation at all that do have these abilities are just like,
Whoa.
wow.
Whoa.
I'd be worried about every little thing I did. I'd want to do anything personal indoors,
Yeah.
like have conversations indoors. I want to talk to nobody outside.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to bust out my enchanted blade ever.
I surely wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't even want to
Even
use
if I
my
didn't
enchanted
know.
blade.
Yeah, even if I didn't know that was like what he was looking for, I still wouldn't do it out of fear. God, like, nah, he's watching.
Yeah, it would be so annoying to use
It's
my
like
enchanted
Kira.
blade.
He's like Kira from Death Note.
Yeah.
Like, because then that would
It's like
trigger
a
like this
landscape.
three-way deadlock, and Samura would come in and kill me. It would be so annoying to use this fucking enchanted blade that I have.
I love how this is almost like a rock paper scissors setup. Because
Oh, true.
they can beat Samura technically, in theory, right? On paper, they can beat Samura together with Chihiro. Samura can beat the Hishaku all by himself, because he's that strong. But the Hishaku can beat the Kamunabi, I guess, outright. Or they have
Because
an edge on them.
so yeah, the Kamunabi have an enchanted blade and their army of bootleg enchanted weapons.
Yeah.
So that
Pretty
beats
tough.
the Kamunabi, and then the Kamunabi can beat Samura, but Samura can solo the Hishaku, essentially. So yeah, you're right. It is a triangle of swords.
Right.
Like a
But
rock, paper,
if they
scissors.
hold down, if they kidnap his daughter, they can have they own like the check on like both Samura and the Hishaku. It's a power play. It's important, and it makes it so that power balance doesn't fall apart either, because they need Samura to keep Hishaku and
Yeah, the Hishaku really,
This is kinda
really need to
interesting.
capture his daughter. Like, this is their only, like, their best play. I'm not gonna say it's their only play, but it's their best play to
And it's crazy
control them.
because they're waiting. Like they were saying how Yura, like their the Hishaku boss, was like, oh, like just wait around, don't worry. Like they'll reveal her. Like the other people are gonna end up like showing you guys like where she's at, like in time. And that's exactly what's about to happen. They're desperate, running up on her, and they're gonna lead the Hishaku right to her. And then Samura is gonna come down and say, Chihiro, I told you, right? I told you, right? And Chihiro's gonna be like, I never drew the enchanted sword, so leave me alone.
Be gone.
Leave me alone.
That's exactly how it's gonna happen. Samura's gonna give him the heh. All right.
Okay.
I feel
And
like
then he's gonna go kill Hishaku people.
I feel like Enten might be a good counter to Samura, though, if you
I
think
don't
about
think
it.
so.
Because I
think
feel like
birds
maybe
eat fish.
he can probably spread like his bloodlust everywhere with his fucking goldfish.
Maybe.
What?
Maybe his goldfish can feel intense malice.
Yeah, he can like bloodlust all over him.
Yeah, wait. That's some like that's some like anime manga shit. You had to really be deep in the weeds. Like he can send his goldfish out to
hate to
like,
hate from
out
a
of
distance.
context, to hate. I just listened to what you said. It was like, wow, that sounds insane. Like outside of the realm of Kagurabachi.
Check out my hate decoy goldfish right now.
My hate decoy goldfish.
You feel all that
That's
bloodlust?
Kagurabachi.
That's the goldfish right now.
Like
you
some more
confused,
slashes,
Samura?
Chihiro. He's like, "You're dead, kid. You should have stayed dead." And then it turns out it was just a goldfish.
Huh?
What? It was just a goldfish? And then it turns out Chihiro was a ninja. This is like he finds out how to become a ninja and erase.
I believe
his blood.
Brian just wrote Kagurabachi.
No, he was actually in the fish tank the whole time.
That is so fucking funny.
Kagurabachi split. I mean, I don't know. I guess I said all my thoughts. I think one of my favorite moment in this whole issue was page 15. Or yeah. And it was,
This is the stupidest
he
bit.
was like basically he's like the kid, the young one, the smallest ninja. He's like, listen, if the Hishaku is putting its hopes of defeating Samura on her being like Samura's daughter, taking her into our custody would serve as a check against both Samura and the Hishaku. Chihiro looks down, and it was like, where is she?
He's about it. He's locked in.
When they first mentioned kidnapping his daughter, he was like, what?
He's like, but it's a great
Whoa.
strategy. And he's like, you're right.
Bro, after a few pages of context, he was just like, you're right.
Imagine she
Yeah,
becomes a
let's
love
do
interest.
it.
Let's kidnap this girl.
I think she might become a love interest. Not gonna lie.
You think so?
Yeah, I have a feeling it would just make sense. You killed me.
That'd be
I'm
good
a fucking
payback
daughter.
for Samura. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking.
You killed my boy Oruha. I'm gonna fuck your daughter.
Yeah. How about that?
How about them apples? Now suck
Right,
on this hate decoy fucking goldfish.
All that.
Hold that hate decoy.
Right.
He thinks he's fighting. He thinks he's fighting him. It turns out it's the goldfish, and Chihiro's just with his daughter right now. I'm taking your daughter on a nice date while you fight my goldfish.
Dummy.
Dumb bitch, blind motherfucker. You can't even see.
Fight my goldfish, dummy.
Stupid.
Blonde ass bitch. Fighting my hate decoy. Fighting my hate decoy fucking goldfish, bitch.
Oh, your pops? He's getting packed up by my goldfish right now.
Don't worry about that. Yeah. Trust me, he didn't see it coming.
He's getting packed up. He's getting packed up by my fucking goldfish.
Yeah. Chihiro made Goldfish gangster.
I don't know why this is so funny. Right?
I think I'm giving you guys a contact time from this.
Oh my god.
Feeling it all the way
I'm
from our
fucking crying.
Through the internet.
This is stupid.
I'm
This is a dumb
fucking
bit.
crying.
We might be the only people on the planet who finds this remotely funny.
Brian's face hurts OD right now, right here. Right here.
Honestly, Brian's enjoying this bit so much is really egging it on for me.
I'm actually crying, bro.
Anyway. I don't know. Are we doing thoughts right now? Did we even finish the chat?
Is there anything else to say, really?
This is RGC.
Yeah, this is, I guess,
don't know.
the joy, the pure joy it got us.
Well,
Your pops is getting backed up on my goldfish.
I'm sorry, guys. It's not my RGC.
It wasn't. It honestly wasn't my RGC to start this chapter. To be honest, I have to be honest as well. It's not my RGC either. But
That was funny. Second best.
yeah, second best. Just I give it second best because of the joy it brought us.
For those not watching, Chris is literally wiping tears.
Dude,
out
I
of
don't
his
know why.
fucking eyes.
I don't know why. I feel like I'm crazy right now. I don't know if I had a long day or what, because I'm finding this way funnier than it probably is.
My cheekbones hurt, man. I'm done. Let's get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can move on.
I mean, I guess we got
move on.
that's Kagurabachi. I like this chapter. I don't think he even got through my thoughts. I really like that we have an objective now. I didn't really know where this series was going. I was like, what's next? I thought they were going to directly attack Sakura right now.
Right. That's what he couldn't even eat properly. He's not ready for that.
Yeah, because that's how they handled Sojo. He got packed up and then he was just like, all right, round 2 immediately. So, you know. But I'm glad we got something going for this next arc. I'm excited to see how they even pull this off because nobody knows what this lady looks like anymore. Like, it's how they're going to find this person who is magically unable to be recognized. But those are all my thoughts.
Fucking goldfish, bro.
Yeah,
it's the
no, we
goddamn
gotta
goldfish.
go. We gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta go before we start this up again.
We start laughing again.
All right, let's get going.
Bloody Cross.
World Trigger. I'm pulling it up right now because it's kind of far away. There you go. This is World Trigger, chapter 248. Rokuro Wakamura, part 4. It's been a while since we talked about World Trigger. Very excited to get into it again. Last we left off, a lot of stuff happened. There was a lot of talking about, Rokuro's shortcomings as a human being.
Not
Shoes,
just a border
whack.
agent.
Your clothes, whack. The
Your
way you dress your
swagger,
hair,
whack.
Yeah,
whack.
there was a point where, okay, so to recap, since we haven't spoken about it in a while, Rokuro asks Hughes what he thought and what he thought he was lacking and what Osamu has. It's like, why is Osamu better than me right now? is basically the question. And we spent a good chapter of Hughes being like, are you sure you want the answer to that? And, he conferred with Inukai, who seems to be taking himself up as Rokuro's teacher. And, she's like, I just wanted you to know that I'm about to give your pupil advice. And I wanted to get your approval on that because I'm about to be very critical. And Inukai's like, yeah, sure, go for it.
Do your thing, bro.
Yeah. And Rokuro basically learned that, I don't know, I guess like the long and short of it is that Rokuro would always try to, like, I guess, make these big hurdles towards improvement, where Osamu always focused on, like, get these attainable goals on top of just having this. Wait, what were you saying?
Compartmentalized.
Yeah.
He compartmentalizes all of his steps.
Yeah. And Osamu is just like a capable person naturally just because he can think outside the box and all that stuff. So, it was a long answer. It was actually 2 chapters worth conversation about why Osamu was better than Rokuro.
And may I add, it was a pretty fire 2 chapters.
Yeah,
I
it was a
fucking love
lot.
those chapters.
Yeah, it was very good. And the last chapter left off with, I believe, one of the snipers from Arafune squad talking with Rokuro, who kind of looks like Osamu here. Not for nothing. And he's just like, hey, I hope you're not down on yourself. Both Hyusa and Inukai are basically telling yourself to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Rokuro is a Detroit lion.
No, Hyusei would be the Detroit
yeah.
line.
Hughes is Dan
Telling
Campbell,
people
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're basically talking about, he's like, hey, Rokuro's like, how does Arafune himself instruct you? And basically, he explains that Arafune gets regular training regimens, and he gets like a 1 hour training course, but it only takes him. It took him 90 minutes instead of an hour one time, and Arafune looked over and he was like, "This is good work. Good luck on the next one." So he's like, "Well, I guess my captain also tends to half-ass things." So Roku was just like, he said that he was surprised that he didn't have any complaints about his leadership. And Hanazaki, as I'm learning his name now, there's a lot of characters in World Trigger. He basically is like, compliments me? No. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I hope you don't take it personal when I say stuff like this blows or what a drag. This is just things I say to just kind of like lock in and settle down. It's not something I mean. It's just like things I have to get off my chest in order for me to focus. So, he feels real bad because he thinks he may have made Rokuro feel bad. So, he's beating himself up about it. And we cut back to Hughes hanging out with Hisato from Suwa Squad. And he's basically like, hey, in the event that Rokuro remains despondent tomorrow, do your best to make up for Rokuro's shortcomings.
If he's too crushed.
Yeah.
Those bombs I dropped on him.
Yeah. And
take the reins, all right?
Yeah, Hisato's like, I think it'll be okay, but I hear you. No problem. And he asks Hughes why he thinks Rokuro was chosen as a captain, which is an interesting question. And he makes sure that everybody knows, like, hey, I don't really have problems with him being a captain, but there's a lot of qualified people that could have been captain instead. So why do you think they chose Rokuro? And basically the long and short.
Real quick, this guy's from Suwa Squad, right?
Yes, Hisato is from Suwa Squad. And Hughes, the long and short of it, explains that he thinks it's because they're looking for people to become potential instructors, and someone like Rokuro may be in that mix. He explains his reasoning is basically that the organization is very bottom heavy. I guess there's a disproportionate amount of lower rank of C rank agents who are the trainee level of agents that don't even have like real triggers, compared to like the B squads, which are the full agents. So they're thinking that they're trying to find people to use their experience to train C rank agents, and there are people like Katori who rely on intuition, who may not be good teachers, and there's people who are like Osamu who are very smart and are probably good teachers, but they're probably too unique to really relate to younger agents. So someone like Rokuro, who represents the inexperienced demographic, given that he currently lacks, if we assume that Rokuro can drive himself past those walls, he can basically be a great service to other agents like himself and help people who are also struggling in their journeys as agents. So, basically, Rokuro is being kept in mind as a teacher, probably for C rank agents. So this, and Hughes clarifies that this is just speculation on his point. He doesn't know what leadership's true intent is, but in any case, this exam represents a defining crossroads for Rokuro. So that's interesting. We then get a lot of pages dedicated to the A rank agents reacting to this whole Hughes and Rokuro kerfluffle. There's a lot of responses varying from Hughes getting good scores for his advice, and people scorning Rokuro for, either taking the easy way out or not being very assertive on his own. So, there's a lot of that in the mix. We get a little bit of character, not development, but, a little bit of expansion on one of the Arashiyama squad guys. His name is Toki. And we've seen him around a lot. He's like one of the Arashiyama guys. He reminds me of Kikuchi Hara, the one with the side effect of hearing.
Brother.
Is it? No.
No, that is. Wait, I'm not sure. That's his older brother, the one that's talking now. I think. I don't know. Are they? They look alike.
They look alike. I don't think they're brothers though. I feel like we probably would have. No, I think they just look kind of similar.
They have different hairstyles.
They do have different hairstyles, but I guess a vibe way they remind me of each other.
Yeah, they do. They are. I confuse them all the time too.
Yeah.
The one that's talking is the one that's on Arashiyama squad.
Yes.
And the one with the hearing is on.
It's on Kazama squad.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
I
basically.
thought they were related.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, he explains that, like, he one of the operators, I remember this guy, he usually watches over Enadora, and he asks Toki what advice he would give to Rokuro. And he basically explains that his parents always raised him to focus less on the goal itself and more on his best score, sorry. And he explains that, like, the real question is how close you could to the goal did you get from your starting origin, because just to let things be loose and allow your goal to even change on the way, just focus on doing the best you can. And it came from this idea that after the first big attack by neighbors, he fell into a slump where he couldn't bring himself to care, and he figured his parents didn't want him to think that his goals were out of reach and that he might as well have given up. So that wraps up that scene for the most part. We cut over to Kodera's squad, and they basically are talking about Sua's squad's tactics, and they actually kind of like figure it out for the most part. They realize that like Sua squad must have been using blended mini squads geared towards combos between units. So like they're basically saying like, whereas we had each person using their own avatars, they decided to use other people's avatars in their groups. So they're not just playing as themselves, basically. So that was interesting enough. And we see Katora start to get a little like frustrated that she didn't realize this earlier. One of the Azuma squad members is just like, a late game realization like this is bound to frustrate an A ranker, but how about Kodera himself? And Kodera is actually kind of pleased with himself. He's like, well, I don't usually get these eureka moments. So, when I come upon the footprints of those ahead of me, I feel like I'm making progress myself, which is a good way to think about things, Lots of positivity.
Kodera is fucking him, man.
Mikumo's rival.
Yeah. We cut to the next day. Rokuro is in high spirits. He doesn't seem to have let the advice get to him that hard, and he's focusing on proceeding forward, which all the A rank squads are kind of happy about. We then cut to Suwa squad to end the chapter, as they are trying to figure out what to do with their day. They figure that they can practice for battle sims for a half hour and dedicate the rest to the delegated assignments. And that is basically their goal. And that's kind of where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about World Trigger chapter 248?
So this was my RGC.
Whoa!
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
It may have came out December 3rd, but I read it this week. So it may not be kind of fair because this is off the back of the previous two chapters, that's been centered around Rokuhira. But even this chapter alone, I think I enjoyed it probably the most out of them all. This is my favorite part of World Trigger, the dialogue between characters and how they show so many different perspectives that are like validated by each other, even if they disagree. They don't really like badmouth each other. They all support, just bring their own points to the table. So it kind of presents like these ideas in such a way that's like it's not about anything being right or wrong. It's about what is it that you agree with the most and what ends up drawing like results. And it's not always going to be apparent immediately. In the case with Rokuhira and a lot of other characters, or just people in life in general. So I really like that about World Trigger. I think the part with all of the captains in A rank. No, it wasn't captains, but all the A rank teachers commenting on the conversation that Hyusei and Rokuhira had. Oh wait, yeah, Rokuhira is the one they was all talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Just make sure I'm not mixing their characters. There was a quote.
Well,
that I
Rokuro, not Rokuhiro.
Yeah, Rokuro. My bad. Yeah, that's
Chihiro you're thinking of.
yeah, Rokuro. On page, I think it's 22. There's a comment by one of the A rankers. They look like a cat or something like that I thought was really deep.
Yeah.
You guys see it?
I do see it.
I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the gist of it is saying that the anxiousness or like negative feelings that come like from like failure, are just natural reactions. Like it's not it's like it's not something that anybody else doesn't already feel like. And that's it's like a I'm trying to articulate it in a different way without just reading it word for word. You can you can use that as motivation, like those feelings that you feel after like failure, you can use as motivation to push you to work harder and try something new or not fail in the same exact way. It's just like a matter of like mindset. And I think that's something that's just a generally good message. No matter what the time period is, just for evaluating yourself and pushing forward to keep growing and achieving more. And that's that stood out to me in out of all the other responses. I mean, obviously it was like one of the lengthiest, but that's just one perspective out of many that shows that there's so many different ways to approach growth. It's because some people would think it should be one way or another. And regardless of what it is you end up doing, you have to do something and learn from your mistakes to keep pushing forward. Like I think that's just a beautiful life lesson for any of us. the chapter itself, these chapters have put it better than I could ever say it. In all honesty, I want everyone to read the series. I think the world would be a better place if everyone read the series. Honestly, I can't really say that about anything else. But yeah, I guess to sum up my thoughts, I really appreciate the wealth of perspectives we got in this chapter that all kind of kept that same thorough line, being to learn from your mistakes and push forward. All right, Brian, what were your thoughts?
These last few set of chapters have been so relieving to read because it finally addressed the big elephant in the room for however long this arc has been going on. Like every time Rokura would like show up on a page or be in a panel, you'd be like, man, why are we focused so much on this character? Like, what is he supposed to be compared to Osamu? Like, what is his deal? And every time you see him and you see that he's struggling, every time you see him and you see that he's struggling and you see that he's kind of messing up, you're like, what are we doing here? And it's not like a bad, what are we doing here? It's like a, what's the point? Where are we driving at here? And we finally got that. And honestly, an incredibly well handled way. Like, this was honestly probably one of my favorite character moments in the series when it comes to this, because it just changes. It not changes, but it gives Osamu so many flowers in a way that you wouldn't expect. You know what I mean? Like that. This is what makes World Trigger so uniquely special, is that characters are strong in unique ways. Like Osamu is compared to what's her name, like the fucking prodigy girl, as
Katori.
like, yeah, like he's kind of compared to her as like somebody who's like a specimen in their own right. Like, even though they, like, if you put them in a battlefield against each other one-on-one, she will mop the floor with him and destroy him almost every single time. Not even almost every single time, pretty much every single time. And it's like the fact that those two people could still be on their own tiers above everybody else, considering how drastically like different they are. It just goes to show, like, World Trigger is no fucking joke. The character writing in this series is like none other that I've ever fucking experienced. Like, this is honestly such a fucking treat to read these chapters. The way that they break down things and the differences between people and how they process and grow and become better in their own unique ways. And I don't think that Rokura is going to develop the way that Hyusei or everybody else is expecting him to. I think he's going to break through and find his own way to become his own person and grow in his own way. Because I feel like his thing is that he was always trying to do things the way it should be done, whatever that meant, right? By his standards. So I don't know. I have high hopes for Rokura in this arc. This was like such a fucking breath of fresh air to see this kind of level of character depth and respect and like just overall like, yo, let's just celebrate everybody and not really bringing anybody down. Yes. Does that make sense? It's like, it wasn't even like a comparison. It was just like a matter of fact. This is how things are, and this is where you fit into things kind of chapter. And that's weirdly emotionally intelligent. This is the most emotionally intelligent chapters of manga that I've ever read because it was just no ego. There was just zero ego involved with all of this. It was just straight fucking like explanation and all that. It was almost like optimistic and uplifting in a sense, even though it was kind of like a breaking of the glass for Rokura. So I don't know. This is just like a fucking pleasure. This has been. I think this is the best arc. I mean, the best chapter in the arc so far. So yeah, those are my thoughts on World Trigger as well. Really excited to see what happens next.
Yeah.
I have some rebuttals, but I'll let you get your thoughts off.
Cool. I mean, I don't have much more to add. I think World Trigger is just really good at, I guess, just realistic dialogue between people. Everybody has had all of these A rankers. We don't know them very well, a lot of them, but they all seem to have like these very unique responses. It's almost like realistic in a way, and it also feels like they are writing in the comment section. It is interesting to see how the spectrum of opinion that they can cover with their characterization. So I thought that was really impressive. And I've mentioned this before, but yeah, it's just always impressive to me. And it's a good way to learn how to write realistic dialogue. It just feels like real people talking a lot of the time.
Quick question: are the participants going to be able to read these comments at the end?
We don't know yet.
I hope so.
I imagine so.
Cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if they made it available for everybody. So we'll see. But I don't really have much to say. I think Brian covered pretty much everything about it. I'm excited to see everybody do their homework next chapter and the deep character implications of that.
Listen, this arc has won me over.
Which I say with no irony, because that is this arc of World Trigger.
At first, the homework was kind of whack, but now I'm like, all right, we're getting into like the more like upon rereading this arc, the homework stuff didn't really bother me as much.
Yeah,
I'll say that much.
Yeah. Josh, you had some rebuttals?
Yeah. So specifically to like what Brian was saying about like he mentioned how there was no egos. I would argue there was, and there was a point kind of made about it that was important. Like some of the comments was like them saying it's too soon to declare I've got what it takes or I don't got it. Any given person is capable of so many things. And another person criticized saying, I don't want to hear all this whining until the guy is done and tried all he can. Another person said, yes, it's tragic if genuine effort leads to failure, but it sounds like he's not even willing to try without a guarantee of some imagined payoff. Ooh, that's rough. But I brought those up like specifically to say like I think there were a handful of opinions that came from the point of view of someone that is probably a lot harder on themselves and expects a lot more of themselves. And that could be for a lot of different reasons. But I think a lot like that can come from ego, from people feeling like whether they're special or like the expectations that they like put on themselves, they apply to like other people. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess you could argue that's not ego, but I think it's the point that thought process works for them. That's why they're critical of Rokuro. That's why they're like so critical of him, because they're saying like, well, like they basically feel like you doing all this whining and you staying in the same place and you haven't even tried as hard as you can, essentially. That's what a lot of that kind of like boiled down to. And, at the same time, you had plenty of other people saying like, oh, these things take time and that like it was wise to like seek that out and, to try to see what he could learn from that and to, build on that, especially if he comes back out of this conversation, motivated or not at least completely devastated and negative. So I don't know. I think it's just like you guys have all like we've all mentioned already, like the wealth of perspectives is incredible. But there's another point I wanted to bring up. Like I think World Trigger does this all the time, where they bring such value to like people, like the uniqueness of people and how, you know, everyone has a role to play in border, and really like if you think about like you know, in life in general. Like he, you know, what Rokuro, you know, was oh, I did not know we was covering that today. All right. Rokuro, who's, you know, nowhere near a top like combat agent, nothing like that, can be in that top tier with Osamu and Katora as a teacher, as someone that's guiding up like the new generation. And Hyusei himself, like who is, you know, high valued combatant and really smart, like puts value in the role of a teacher. You know what I'm saying? And like like I said, World Trigger does that all the time. Like they make like everybody, you know, has a quirk about them that can, you know, that's can be converted into a role that can be like played. And it's just that like World Trigger is just the complete opposite of rigid. You know, like they, which is so wild because it's like a military, right? Which is, when you think about military, you think about authority and you know, rigidity, or whatever, like this super like the structure that's infallible or whatever. But within this military structure, they give like their agents that freedom to be creative and try new things out. You know, I think that's a good recipe for society, honestly. A uniform, everyone having a uniform goal, but able to express themselves in ways to contribute more towards the overall product.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's well said. It's very interesting about World Trigger, and maybe it's a bigger topic for you know, probably the end of the arc, where they probably revealed everybody's like, well, at least leadership's intentions behind certain aspects of this exam. But it's how like they encourage growth in these like kind of unorthodox ways. It's interesting. It's allowing people to come into their own without like helicopter parenting them, if that makes sense. But yeah, I agree. Those are all my thoughts, though. Are we good with World Trigger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Let's move onward. Dandadan.
I did not know we was covering this.
I mentioned it in the group chat a couple times.
I missed it.
Well,
Sorry, guys.
Well, anyway, we are covering Dandadan this week. We've mentioned bringing it onto the show a couple times, and since we're down 2 series, we decided maybe now is a good time to bring it in a little bit, introduce you to it. We haven't done a big coverage for it proper, but for those of you who are caught up to Dandadan with us, we had just gone through this entire arc introducing a new character that has attacked our main cast with this little pygmy army of minuscule like little ghost things. At the same time, Momo is currently tiny due to like what happened in the arc previous to this one, where they had to fight this entire weird medieval army type thing. And we left off last week of Dandadan with Granny, with the grandmother.
Hey, yo.
Of Momo. Huh?
Hey, yo.
What?
Hey, yo.
What?
Hey, yo.
What did I miss?
I'm reading Dandadan right now. This shit is crazy.
I didn't read this new chapter, actually.
Well, I guess I'm the only one who was prepared for the pod, despite the fact.
No, because I forget that it comes out on Mondays. So I completely missed it.
This chapter is buck fucking wild.
Well, I guess we're gonna read it together.
Yeah, we sure are. All right, let me go back.
So yeah, Granny is getting jumped by this weird army of old men in like these kung fu gi. I don't know what the outfit is called specifically.
Do we know who these people are?
This is probably, we don't know who they are, but they are probably have something to do with the whole thing that Shen from Undead Unluck. Remember when he became a zombie?
Yes.
It's probably based off of these guys, like their whole thing.
Yeah. Well, these guys are rolling in like 20 deep to jump an 80-year-old woman. And this entire chapter is about 80%, well, I would say 95% action. Granny is soloing all these weird kung fu ghosts, and it's pretty awesome. She is hand-to-hand fighting these guys in heels. She's like throwing kitchen equipment around, beating the shit out of these guys.
She sure is.
It's honestly very fun, and she's calling them numbnuts as she does it. It's pretty cool. But then we get one of the patented Dandadan 2-page spreads of something fucking weird. This weird bull creature bulldozes through the entrance of this restaurant that Granny is eating in a full ball position, like a cannonball, like when you're jumping into a pool. And it's this gigantic, weird, like black bull that we don't know what this is.
And then he poses.
And let me tell you, this bull is super duper detailed.
Omega jacked.
So jacked. Muscles at the wazoo.
It's got fucking yoked.
It's got tighty whities on. I didn't even notice it the first time I was reading it, but this thing has tighty whities on. Like normal tighty whities, like man tighty whities. Granny Chio tries to kick this thing in the nuts. It didn't seem to faze him. She's like, "You're awful hard." And he's like, "Thank you very much."
Oh my God. It gets worse. It gets worse.
And he says, "I am iron." And she keeps trying to hit this thing, but the more this thing explains, with iron, the more you hit it, the stronger it gets. It does.
Yo. Come on.
It does something, and it sends Granny Chio flying a little bit. This thing is beating the shit out of this 80-year-old woman. And he's like, "Whether you strike me or I strike myself or I strike you, I'll just become stronger. When you strike me, please be careful that you don't hurt your hands. Because down there it gets hot, hot, hot."
Yo, bro. What's going on?
And yeah, he's basically defeated Granny. And he's like, "I sure was strong. Now please accept your defeat." And he pulls out something from his tiny whities. I don't even know what that is. Is that a knife? He pulls out a tiny switchblade from his tiny whities.
It's the pick-me knife. It's the pick-me knife to like.
It is the fucking knife. Okay, yeah. It's not. Okay, so he takes out this. Okay, so for those who don't know, just to recap this, in the not too long ago, literally like maybe 1 or 2 chapters ago, the main gang has been fighting this girl who was given this knife by, I think, a teacher at the school, and has been
Sir something.
Yeah, and has been instructed to stab Momo with this knife in order to steal her powers. And now this thing has that and is assumingly going to trying to steal Granny's powers with this knife. But before he can do so, we get a 2-page spread of... Brian, do you remember these characters? I feel like I should remember them. I feel like we've seen them before.
There's Kashimoto. And I don't know the other guy. But Kashimoto's the guy with the hat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the other guy, though.
They're made up characters.
So they pull up and save Granny, and they pose in these cool poses. One of them becomes this weird darkness monster thing, and the other one has like a phoenix flying behind him. Super duper cool. That is where
it a lot.
I love this. That's where this chapter ends. That's And that's Dandadan chapter 177. I mean, you guys have just read this for the first time. What
Can
did
I go
you?
first?
Yeah, Brian, you could go first.
This is the most Dandadan
Yes,
chapter.
I was about to say that.
There is no better chapter to introduce this series on than this. this series will introduce characters and make them the hottest shit on the block. It's so fun in that way. Like, this is the first, I don't think this is the first time we've seen them. I think it might be.
That's what I was thinking. I feel like these guys look familiar, and I'm probably just not remembering them.
But
They don't exist in your memory.
but they're pretty cool characters. I guess this is their first chapters.
Oh, okay.
Literally last chapter was the first time these guys got introduced.
Okay.
But Dandadan is a series that has an ever evolving cast of characters that just keeps getting added into the pile that the mangaka likes to play around with. And he'll introduce these characters by way of the old cast. And so the cast will come in, they'll be like, oh, we got to go talk to some other guy about something. And then that other guy is all of a sudden a really fucking cool character that's going to come in and do some cool ass shit. Like, even characters that you wouldn't expect to do crazy shit will do crazy shit. And on top of that, the enemies that they fight are insane. And not in like a way that it's like, oh, they're so cool, insane, oh my god. They're just in like legit, you will not know what the fuck to expect next. So when a fucking bunch of zombies show up and they start beating the shit out of Granny, and then a bull pulls up afterwards, like, that's just the type of shit that you expect from a series like Dandadan. And it's fun. It's just fun shit. It's like Sakamoto Days or like JoJo or like One Piece, in the way that like random things happen, random fun, like vibrant things happen in this series. And it's about the fun factor. It's about the unpredictability and the comedy of the situations. And it doesn't take itself super seriously. And that's why the series is so fun. It feels like a story that a bunch of friends at lunch are coming up with. And they're just acting it out and having fun. Like, that's why I love this series. And this chapter epitomizes that. Even though the main cast isn't really in it, it's mostly like a Granny chapter. I'm really excited to see what these fucking two goofballs that we literally just met are all about with their cool ass fucking abilities. Josh, what are your thoughts?
The last thing I remember is they fought and pretty much captured the gnome girl, and they was in like the infirmary with the nurse, and she could also see spirits. Hold on, I gotta sneeze.
Very professional. Very professional. Hitting the sneeze button.
Damn, he did a double sneeze.
Look at this guy.
What?
He's been doing this for a while, huh? This podcast.
I transitioned that pretty smooth, huh?
It was really good.
Yeah, it was pretty fire. Not gonna lie.
But yeah, that's the last thing I remember. I don't remember the grandma being around, but she got her ass beat by that bull, who was just an Ayo savant, you know, like a pause specialist.
Ayo savant.
This guy is a pause merchant.
Yeah.
A proper Ayo savant.
Yeah, like the terminology was insane. It was hard to get past that, but it was funny overall. I mean, who is he? Who's any of these people? I missed like 2 chapters of Dandadan, and that's it. That's how crazy this series is. It's like, bye. We've been did the gnomes. They're all dead now.
We've moved on to another thing.
And the ones that aren't went to outer space. We told them niggas peace out. Now you got to deal with these zombie gang and bull. Whole lot. That's what Dandadan is about. And there's also romance. And
Bro,
vague hints of harem.
vague harem.
It's a vague harem. I will give it a vague harem, but it's pretty clear on who the main two are, and to a degree
For
where
sure. You
Not
just
to
never know
Jin.
what can happen. Relationships are complicated.
mm,
It ain't very clear to Jin. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, Jin is pushing it. Okay.
Jin's still out here swinging that fucking bat.
Were those all your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah. The Shadow Man is the coolest thing you ever seen.
He looks like an
Or
unversed
it's just
from
a-
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Tokoyami, like Shadow without Tokoyami.
Mm,
Yeah.
good references. I think this was my really good chapter of the week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
On its very first try.
Wow.
To be honest, it really is funny how like perfect of a chapter this was to kind of give the vibe of what Dandadan is. It does everything Dandadan does. It introduces these new characters that are fucking weird and quirky on all sides, even the villains. There's these 2-page spreads that will just have a copious amount of detail and just like artistic effort put into them that appears every other chapter or so, and just like heighten the absurdity of the series. Like when he came through in a cannonball, I'm like, yeah, he's damn near a perfect circle, this bull. And this is what Dandadan is. Like things will just suddenly happen. You'll turn the page and it'll be the most absurd yet well-drawn thing you've ever seen in your life.
And then the Yin Yang twins come out.
Yeah, then the Yang Yang twins come out. The tracksuit squad will pull up and fight this bull, man.
By the way, I figured out the name of the other guy, the Shadow guy.
What's his name?
His name is Payase.
Hmm.
How do you know that?
So it's Kashimoto and Payase.
Can I say,
Where are they from?
Huh?
When did we meet them?
This like literally a chapter ago.
These are brand new characters.
Just met them last.
Can I say, Tracksuit Man, it's a great fit.
Yep. Kashimoto, that's my boy.
The bucket hat
I
is
like
cool.
Kashimoto.
This is a cosplay I would do.
I like the bucket hat.
Yeah, the bucket
Where
hat.
did you get the Phoenix from?
Yeah, I got to get the Phoenix somehow. I guess I'll have to set a bird on fire behind me in order to make this work. But
Yeah.
that's another
Yeah, I
talk.
might
for
have to have a few of them with you.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is just great, and I'm glad we're finally able to add it. I don't know if it's going to be consistent right now because we're waiting for Undead to really end. We just had an empty slot, and we decided, hey, since we're adding it at some point anyway. But yeah, if you haven't read Dandadan, Netflix is currently putting out the anime. So if you have Netflix, Dandadan has a pretty good anime out with a really good dub, if you prefer that.
And an incredible intro song.
Great intro song.
Is it
And
better than any One Piece intro? Or no?
well,
I think it beats every One Piece intro.
you know, that's your
I wish you
opinion,
didn't
man.
say that yet, Brian. I wish you didn't say that yet. I wanted to hear Chris. Now he'll never say that, even if it is true.
I must fight against it now. That's too hyperbolic. There's 20-something openings for One Piece. Dandadan's got to be.
And you know them all.
I know most of them. I don't know them all.
You have to be modest, Chris. Come on.
No, I promise you. I probably out of the
You know
20,
you're One Piece #1 fan.
no. Out of the 20-something, 25 or so, 26 openings of One Piece, I'm probably a fan of maybe 5 of them.
Yikes.
There's too many. But anyway, read Dandadan, watch Dandadan. If you have the Viz, the Shonen Jump subscription thing, The whole series is up on there now. Highly recommended, and it will end up on the lineup at some point, so permanently. So catch up, enjoy it, and that's all my thoughts. Are we ready to move on? Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Undead Unluck. And this one I'm going to pass over to Cherish.
It's time to bring it home. It is Undead Unluck by Yoshifumi Tozuka. Chapter number 235, The Rules of Man. Excuse me. So, last week, we got the realization that the heart artifact that they need to defeat the sun god ultimately is inside of Fuko, and they were able to successfully take it out without killing Fuko, but there's still a price to using the artifact, and that price is losing your bonds and connections you have with all the people you love, essentially via the memories and all of that. So yeah, we cut to this week, and we get from the far reaches of the cosmos, we were expelled by them. And it came here to that that place was nothingness. When they said the here they came to was the nothingness. And we get these square dimensions. It's really cool. If you look further into the page where it's like small and you see the two gods, you can see how it like keeps going further and further in. It's probably what it's like to jump through dimensions. Anyway, they were like a space of nothingness without anything created and without a single rule to its name, a space wherein only a single seed, these nuts, existed in the vast expanse of nothingness.
The seed was just these nuts.
Yeah. How about that?
Talk to us.
All right. Whoa.
Talk to us.
So the sun god holds the seed, and he's like, "What a poor looking seed. What do they expect us to do with this?" And the moon god is like, "Oh, perhaps they're telling us to learn." And he's like, "Learn what?" And so Luna alludes to something that happened in the past, I guess, and they say what we lost to and why we lost. They want us to raise it and learn those points. That is what I assume they mean. And Sun God is thinking how are we supposed to go through that. And he has his own ideas, which is that, the people of this world should worship the gods. And Luna's like, okay, the moon god, cool. But how about this, right? Until they learn that, we will make them repeatedly challenge us to see if they are strong enough to reach us. It'll be a game. If, just as you said, they are tied down by the rules and desire God, then you win. If they reach a form of strength that neither of us know of, and that power reaches us gods, then that will be when ... We don't really get a finish to that process, but I guess that means Luna would win, but they would both lose. Anyway, Luna peers in through their little TV to check on what's happening as with a big old smile on his face, and he rips out Fuko's heart, and he's like, I'm gonna make as long as you're alive, I'll make you happy. Give me your heart.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. That's nice. I see the metaphor there. That's cool. Luna's looking at them like, huh? But like if you use the power, you're gonna lose it. You know, like doesn't that mean everything to all of you? And then the son of God is like, yo, like it's time. No more easy mode. I'm about to pull out all the stops and take this shit very serious. And he starts creating fire style sun clones out from the sun portal behind him as our negators watching horror, and Fugo gains immediate PTSD, but not from the surgery that was just performed on her while she was conscious, but from the past loop of when they were all about to lose and she had to loop by herself. But before she could dwell on that traumatic experience, the negators all fly out and start just beating the shit out of all the sun god clones. Easy money. As they all explain to Fuko how they've helped her. Shen, Fang, and Mui are like, thanks to you, we realized strength and love. Rip was like, we only ever thought about ourselves. We could never stake our faith in anyone to entrust them with anything, but you met with us once again and added us to your team. For that, thank you. Fully completing the villain to good guy arc. We like Rip. I was right about them all three being together.
You are right about that. That was the most right Josh has ever been.
I'll take that. That's fine. Backhanded or not, it's a compliment.
It's not backhanded. You were right. I was like, there was no way.
That is exactly what you said. You said 0%. You wouldn't even meet me somewhere.
If we had made the wrong Burgundy bet back then, I would have been wrong Burgundy.
Yeah, that's all right. That's why I said there will be more opportunities in the future. Anyway, so yeah, Rip, Lat, and Latla are very happy and tell Fuko thanks as they go to beat one of the sun god clones. And Billy's like, me too, Fuko, as he yells to Fuko and also Brian through time and space and reality. He says, on the battlefield, Fuko and Brian, I knew about how valuable fighting together was, and yet I did what I did. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for betraying y'all, and thank you for coming back to save me. And thanks for giving me some scenes that Brian could enjoy. And then Gina, who's unchanged, is like, just to let you know, I'm the most grateful. Those two there helped change the old me and the current me, which is a fact. They changed her 2 times.
They changed her from alive to dead in the first one.
Oh, that was good. That was good. All right. And Sean.
I'll never get over. They literally murdered Gina in the first round.
They also murdered Sean.
They murdered.
They did.
They did kill the boxing guy in the first loop too.
Yeah, they did kill him too. Yeah, they did kill him.
That was crazy.
So, all the negators. Yeah, that was insane. All the negators, have nice things to say that we don't really get to hear as they all start to destroy the sun god clones. Luna's like, what is going on? As I know one. Could you say, Chris? You say it the best, man.
Unknown.
You didn't say unknown. You said the name, right?
That's the name, Unknown.
Unknown.
Now you're just going too hard.
Their name is Unknown.
Yeah. But it's spelled like unknown one.
No. It's Ano.
Ano? Unknown?
Yeah, but it is very close to unknown. That's the pun they're making. But
their last name is
It's An. Ano.
Ano.
His name is Unknown.
I know, but his name is unknown.
I know, but his name is
Your brain is fried.
It's Ano.
I'm going.
I know, Chris.
I don't know.
He's asking about.
Josh, it's okay. We can move past this. I
Now
know
that
only shows up
Sundays
for
Luna
like
is-
one
I know.
one page. It's not that crazy.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back to the chapter. So I know no, I know
I know.
oh no, we're not doing this again.
Oh my god, we're gonna be here forever.
The negator unknown is like every journey till now, every meeting, every hardship, every farewell, those become bonds and form power. I bet you never knew about this rule. I see it's not something that you created then. This rule called love is one created by humanity. As we see the actual sun god starting to like burn up in a different type of fire, I guess, from the one that's already on his body. And it's the fire created by humanity's love. And they're like, Luna, can you hear me? This, as Andy says, this rule means. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. And he's like, I'm the only one left. Fuko's like, yep. And then Soul, who's trapped in Sun's body, is like, quit messing with me. What is this? This rule means nothing to me. As Annie and Fuko start charging up a shot from the heart artifact. And that is the end of the chapter. Okay, Brian, what were your thoughts?
This was a very Undead Unluck chapter. This is like the actual ultimate power friendship moment.
It really is.
Where love triumphs all. It was very beautiful. And I wouldn't trade it for anything else. Undead Unluck, classic.
Yeah. I enjoyed this chapter a lot. I feel like, you know, we're progressively getting into a better ending, I suppose. You know, and the art here is amazing. This 2-page spread where all the Sun God clones are coming in is so cool. But yeah, it was a cool little like recap of just how much Fuko has done for the squad. I do enjoy it. It was good to see the origin of Luna and Sun. I don't know who kicked them out of their universe or whatever the fuck just happened and why, but I thought it was interesting and just like I guess gamifying the lesson of, you know, not allowing your life to be ruled by fate, and the fate being like the rules of this world, surpassing it and just, you know, gaining freedom that way. So I had a good time reading this. They really simplified it. I feel like there was supposed to be a little bit more to the origin, but I'll take what I can get at this point. Pretty stoked about it. But those are all my thoughts. Josh, what did you think?
So one thing that occurred to me on the second read was that like every time somebody says something to Fuko, like what they was, you know, appreciative of, like to her, like for, it made the heart like glow, like the artifact. But even deeper than that, like everything they were talking about was them finding a way, like them finding something. I don't know, them having something to do with love. You know what I'm saying? Like them finding love in their own way and their own meaning to it. You know, like with Shen, he was able to find like, you know, like common ground with Fang and also romance with Mui, you know, through their admiration for strength and their like love of it and passion, right? So I helped them get together in that respect. And then with Rip and Latla, like, you know, to be able to open themselves up and put like faith in somebody else, that's real love. You know what I'm saying? That's hard to do, you know? So I thought that all kind of you know, played even what Gina said about like helping her change 2 times, like, you know how they say you change for love for the right reasons or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really like one theme. I seen what they was doing there.
Yeah.
That was nice. But those are my thoughts.
Alrighty then. Well, let's bring this one home, shall we? That was Undead Unluck. And that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening as per usual. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on all the social media stuff. You could also email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we'll answer questions on pre-show chat show that we do every week. You could also comment underneath any of the videos that you're watching. We're doing full video capability now, so please subscribe to that while you're at it. Like, share, comment your thoughts on the chapters. We'd love to hear from you guys. Do all that. If you prefer audio podcasts, you can also subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, Castbox, Pocket Casts, all these auxiliary podcast platforms. We're pretty much on anywhere you listen. So check us out on that. And thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, we will see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace.
Peace out. We miss Hunter x Hunter.
We do miss Hunter x Hunter.